I don't know about you, but I've never kept a diary. My sisters did.
Dear Diary. That's what we titled it today.
But so, our buddy Fauci has released. Well, he didn't release it. Rand Paul released it. Well, and we'll get into all the groups. But I looked up the definition of reprehensible, and it suits him just perfectly. So we'll kick that around today, and more evidence, as if we needed any, that the trans community, the weirdos and the freaks, are coming for your kids. So we'll break all that down today on the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast. It's the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast. Thank you so much for being here. Big day here in Cincinnati. And before we start, Keith, I want to just address something that I noticed on the way here.
You want to wish yourself a happy birthday?
No, I don't care about that.
I was waiting. What did you notice?
That and look, I'm not being judgmental, and I'm not trying to be a dick. But your front yard needs tending too.
Oh, I know.
It's gotten away from you a little bit.
My backyard, I literally just
I haven't seen the backyard yet.
Oh, I literally just cut it. But yeah, I got to get my my riding mower.
I was going to say, you've got a riding mower.
Yeah, but all right. So real quick, I won't go long on it. But so I push mow. I push mow the front. Because it's a little postage stamp. Backyard's fairly sizable. I could push mow it if I chose, but yes, I do have a riding mower in the shed. Battery was dead. I had to jump it to get it started the last time I cut, and I knew I was going to have to get a battery. So I'm cutting. Well, the mower shuts off. Well, I'm like, well, the battery's bad. I know that, but it shouldn't need the battery once it's started.
Just shut off.
It just shut off. So I went in right out because I knew I was going to have to get a battery. Got one. Put it in. She's cranking, but I can't get her to fire. So I'm going to have Bill across the street come over and assist me because I am not much of a mechanic.
All right.
So, I mean, worst case scenario, I'll have my buddy Dustin come over, pay him his lawn company to come knock it down. But yes, I completely agree with you. I am lacking.
I mean, for a long time, you didn't even cut your own grass.
You're right.
Does Pappas mow his yard, or does he have someone do it?
Is that a trick question, or
do you know?
I don't know for certain.
There's no way he cuts.
I'm gonna.
There's no way.
I'm gonna assume that he doesn't.
He pays someone to do it.
Yeah, I would
You
go
think?
that route. I would go that route, but
so there are times when people put into words thoughts way better than I can, and you remember a long time ago when we had on. I think we had him on a couple of times. Our buddy Eric Matheny.
Oh, yeah.
From Florida, who is also a podcast host. He hosts a podcast called Bob and Eric Save America. And he has been all over this Anthony Fauci stuff. And he has been, since day one, a guy who has pointed out the truth about Fauci. And now that his diaries have been released by Rand Paul, and he testifies on Capitol Hill tomorrow. You think he'll take the fifth? I don't know how he does it.
I don't know if he's allowed to, though. With him having what Biden gave him, what's the word?
He got a
I'm drawing a blank on
pardon. He got a pardon.
I think he has to answer.
If you have a pardon,
I
I'm
believe
gonna have to look that up.
I believe he is required to answer.
Okay.
Don't quote me on it. Let's just see
Well,
let's see what the
check
chat.
with my and well, Eric Mathaney's an attorney. He would probably have the answer to that. But he testifies on Capitol Hill tomorrow, and I know there have been some of our lawmakers who have been talking about they want to go back and see if his pardon is actually still good, if his pardon actually covers him lying to Congress.
Here, real quick,
if the pardon is good because it was written by the auto pen,
right?
Yeah.
So whether it's legit or not,
right?
So I just typed in real quick. Does Fauci have to answer questions during his hearing tomorrow? It says yes. If Dr. Anthony Fauci appears under a valid Senate subpoena, he is generally required to appear and answer questions from the committee. Tomorrow's hearing is before. However, that does not mean he must answer every question. He may lawfully decline to answer in certain circumstances, including Fifth Amendment. So there is that attorney-client privilege.
So he could take the Fifth.
He could. Okay. I knew that was a question. And I know the Drinking Bros were talking about it this morning.
So look, the dude is a coward. I think he'll take the Fifth. But go to just the X feed of Eric Matheny, Matheny, Eric Matheny, and he has put up some outstanding posts about Fauci. One from a couple of days ago. He's got a picture of Fauci, the most prolific serial killer of the 21st century. I think you can make that argument.
Yeah.
Here's another separate post. He writes, COVID was nothing. It was a flu. In fact, it was the flu, the one that comes every year. Also, the same one that magically disappeared in 2020. It was fully feasible, or I'm sorry, it was fully treatable, and we could have gone about our normal daily lives. But if COVID was in the news, neither was Fauci. And those are some of the things that he writes about in his diary. I saw actually two excerpts from his diary, and I know you've got a list of them there. But one he talks about, he writes in his diary where he talks about how he is at that period of time, he considered himself to be the most recognizable person on the planet. Because think about it, he was on TV morning, noon, and night.
Yeah.
He came on Fox. He wasn't on Fox as much, and not nearly as much as he was on CBS, NBC, CNN, MS Now. I think he was on Newsmax a lot and places like that. But he really was drunk with power. You think about that phrase, drunk with power.
Mm-hmm.
And he was giddy about it. He was absolutely giddy about it. The whole time, though, he knew the truth about the Wuhan, where it came from, about the funding. He knew about. He knew the truth about all of it.
Well, he
lied to the American people.
He was holding the keys to the kingdom. Whatever he said went, and then it trickled down to the states. Yeah, we had to deal with Dr. Amy non-factin actin to where it went to the states and everything got shut down. But yeah, he was holding the fucking keys of the kingdom. But here, you want me to go to the excerpts real quick?
Should I
read the article first?
Go ahead.
Yeah, inside Fauci's private diary, what he wrote about Trump, TV personalities, and celebrities. And I was going to read most of this, but I won't because we got excerpts now. But newly released diary entries by Dr. Anthony Fauci offer an unfiltered look at what the nation's top infectious disease expert really thought of the politicians, television personalities, and celebrities who filled his orbit during the COVID-19 pandemic. Released by Senate Homeland Security Committee Chairman Rand Paul, the diaries chronicle Fauci's day-to-day role during the COVID-19 pandemic through meetings, phone calls, and personal observations. The release comes days before Fauci's scheduled to testify, which we talked about, which will be tomorrow. You know what time it starts?
I would imagine 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, I would imagine.
The entries feature everyone from President Donald Trump to Julia Roberts, Steph Curry, Larry Ellison, and Hunter Biden, offering an unusually personal look at the people who crossed Fauci's path during the COVID-19 pandemic. Entries portray a warm working relationship between Fauci and Trump. Fauci wrote that Trump repeatedly directed questions to him during White House meetings, called him, in quotes, the smartest person in the world, told him, in quotes, we were counting on you, and later appeared enamored with him as Fauci's national profile grew. So we grabbed a couple clips or excerpts, and
I know, but the whole time though, that he was kissing Trump's ass, he was lying to Trump.
right, absolutely,
He was lying the whole time. He lied. He lied to Obama. He lied to Trump, and he probably lied to Biden too.
Biden.
He lied to everybody.
Biden wouldn't fucking remember if he lied to him or
No,
not.
no, absolutely not.
I thought you said we didn't have vanilla ice cream. So the 10 most discussed revelations from Fauci's journal entries, and this is based on different reporting outlets, advised to close New York City's bars and restaurants. A March 15, 2020 entry reportedly states that Fauci told then Mayor Bill de Blasio he should close bars and restaurants in New York City, and that de Blasio said he would base the decision on Fauci's recommendation. This entry has received attention because Fauci later said publicly that he did not personally.
There's multiple videos of him out there, and he did. I mean, he literally thousands of interviews. And in one of those, I saw the clip the other day, and he was saying, "Oh, I never told anyone to shut down anything."
Right?
I'm acting like what? What are you talking about?
The next one is a recommendation to, in quotes, close all of New York City. But he never said that, right? Another March 20 entry reportedly says Fauci advised de Blasio to shut down the city more broadly as COVID-19 cases surge. Critics cite this as evidence of his direct influence on shutdown policies, while supporters note that officials were responding to an emerging public health emergency.
Another quote from Eric Matheny: "The world shut down so he could bask in his own glory." And he puts up a series of magazine covers that Fauci appeared on.
I mean, he's not fucking wrong. His changing relationship with President Trump. Early entries describe a positive working relationship, including Trump praising Fauci and relying on his advice. Later entries portray Trump as rambling, crazy, and desperate, and a true embarrassment, reflecting growing conflict over pandemic messaging.
Fauci knew there was a world of difference between dying of COVID and dying with COVID. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
Remember how many
motorcycle accidents?
Right. Dying with
got
COVID.
Attributed to fucking COVID.
So someone would come in from hey, maybe they've got 20 bullet wounds in them. So someone would come in.
Oh, they're leaking COVID all over the floor.
And they would die. They would die, of course, from being homicide, being shot, maybe getting run over by a car or a train or a bus. And then they would would draw blood, and if they had a positive antibody, and then they say, "Oh, they're dying with COVID."
Yep.
And because the hospitals at that time were cashing in if they had COVID deaths.
Yep.
So
tons of money changing hands throughout that whole fucking
Matheny
process.
writes, Fauci knew there was a world of difference between dying of COVID and dying with COVID. He purposely conflated the numbers to make it look significantly worse than it really was.
I don't dispute that either.
Yeah, Matheny is all over this. I mean, he really is.
The journals reference conversations or interactions with public figures, including Julia Roberts, Steph Curry, Anna Wintour, Trevor Noah, Sean Penn, Matt Damon, Lil Wayne, and others during the pandemic. How do you think that conversation went between the nerd Fauci and Lil Wayne?
Oh my God.
I mean,
I have no idea. I really don't have much familiarity with Lil Wayne.
You can grab it by the name.
He's a pretty famous rapper.
Yes,
I understand that.
Yes. How does Fauci get in Lil Wayne's contacts, and how does Lil Wayne get in Fauci's contacts?
That reminds me, there was a show at Riverbend last night called 5 Seconds of Summer. Some boy band.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I was
Never
with
heard
our
of
buddy Corbett yesterday, and we were putting up a couple of things down there, and the crowd was like all these 20-something age girls that were just completely and totally inappropriately dressed. Not out of the I don't know 70 or 80 or 100 that I saw. less than 2% were what you would call attractive. I don't. I mean, far be it from me, but
yeah, I've never heard of that band.
Okay.
No clue.
It's just a tangent that popped up in my head.
The lab leak debate. The journals reportedly show Fauci initially acknowledging uncertainty about COVID-19's origin.
Mhm.
A May 21 entry says that while he believed a natural origin was most likely, no one is 100% certain. Oh shit!
Well, he
said it.
100%.
Fuck, you just said it.
Well, he's lying in his own diary now.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and look, a lot of this is not a surprise to me. Brad Wenstrup, who's been a guest on this show, recently retired from Congress.
He was in a position at Rand Paul, isn't
he had a committee. He headed up a committee that wrote.
I thought it was the same committee. I thought Rand Paul.
I don't know if Rand Paul was a member of that committee or not, but Wenstrup headed up a committee that heard testimony, investigated all the aspects of, and this was an actual real, not like the Liz Cheney committee that investigated Trump for January 6th. No, it wasn't a dog and pony show like that.
Right.
The report is out there. If you Google Brad Wenstrup committee report, COVID-19 or pandemic, whatever, you'll find it. And the report goes in depth about Fauci and how Fauci knew. When you look at the emails that and the guy he was sending the emails back and forth with recently got indicted related to the Wuhan. But when the emails they wrote to each other, they talked about how they were skirting the law, how this guy knew somebody that could help them clean up their files, right? So they could avoid detection. They were writing this back and forth to each other, so they knew the whole time.
Well, then they talked about all the emails that got scrubbed.
Yeah, well,
and that's a whole other thing.
But and this was and there's actually two reports. His committee was able to release the unclassified report. There's another classified version. And the stuff that's in the unclassified,
I didn't know that.
The stuff that's in the unclassified, to my way of thinking, is enough to put Fauci away for life. I can only imagine what's in the or the classified version. Eric Matheny writes.
Why would they have two versions, though?
Well, because I mean, there's a lot of national security implications related to stuff like this.
Over a disease.
When you talk about money that goes to China, when you talk about the NIH, when you talk about the deepest, darkest recesses of the federal government,
I get it, but
there's some of those secrets that they can't let out.
I understand.
There's a
that
classified
aspect.
version of the report that Wenstrup's committee came out with, and I have read. I've read large sections of the unclassified, and it's jaw dropping. It is literally jaw dropping. The stuff that they document in there. And Eric Matheny writes this: since 2020, we knew COVID did not come from a marketplace. It was manufactured and bioengineered, paid for by the agency that Fauci oversaw. We knew therapeutics like hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin worked. We knew that lockdowns would destroy the economy. We knew masks were dehumanizing virtue signals, not life-saving pieces of medical equipment. Fauci lied. He helped create COVID. He helped create it with taxpayer dollars from me and you and everyone watching this podcast right now. He's a mass murderer. He should spend the rest of his life in prison.
Yeah, I mean,
our buddy Eric Matheny talking about Fauci.
The amount of hysteria, and I know I've talked about it on this show before, but with being a first responder and working in it, the messaging was so bad, and it has nothing to do with my bosses. It was the messaging that was coming down from the county, from the state to the counties and all that. I had 17 different masks that I could wear, but nobody knew which one to wear. I mean, one full face with canisters, one not full face, but just covering here with canisters. paper masks.
I mean, what was? I mean, your life
N95 masks.
Your day-to-day life and your life at your workplace completely and totally changed.
Oh yeah,
the way you had to interact with people who needed your services right now. And then how much did the fact that you had to go out to do all these protocols, take all these precautions, gear up the way you had to gear up, and interact with these people? How much of a delay did that cause in you getting to someone? And I'm not just saying you, but other people who were in your position.
Oh yeah.
And in your position, seconds, minutes matter. And the faster you can get to someone, assess them, and get them to the hospital or get the proper treatment going while you're in the ambulance, that can make the difference between life and death.
Oh yeah.
So how many interactions like that were delayed because not just you, but every fire department, every EMS across the country
absolutely
had to do those same
and
protocols.
Everybody had their own protocols. There was nothing that was cookie cutter. Just here, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
Because each state was saying something different.
Right.
Each county was saying something different. The amount of money, the amount of shit that
the personal protective gear, all that.
Between that, between that, and then
and then what? You use it one time, gone, right?
Well, some of them are disposable, but others you would
right.
clean. Yeah, the bigger canister respirators and that. But even still, you have to wear a respirator like that, you need to be fit tested. Well, I guarantee you not everybody has been fit tested. I can guarantee you that. Yeah. So on that front, I mean, it was just very frustrating because we're looking for guidance from, our elected officials and the experts, in quotes. I'm using heavy fucking quotes there. We're looking for fucking guidance and advice and weren't really getting any. But they were throwing money at it like a son of a bitch. I mean, the amount of shit that got donated, like liquid IV, the packets of liquid IV. We had a pallet of that shit that got dropped off at the firehouse.
To do what?
To keep us hydrated.
Okay.
I mean,
was it like a juice box or
what? You put it like in a thing of water. And it's got electrolytes and shit in it. It's expensive as hell. If you go to the store and buy it, it's expensive as shit. But I mean, why that was donated, but some county government got a pallet of it and they were taking it and dropping it off at firehouses, police stations. And so, I mean, it was crazy, but I'll get to the last one here. I'll quit reading these, but personal views on the pressure of leading the pandemic response. Throughout the journals, Fauci documents the strain of advising two administrations balancing scientific guidance with politics and dealing with intense public scrutiny, while also recording his concern about maintaining public trust and scientific credibility.
Well, he how many times did he go on TV and he said, "I am science"? And what was the phrase that came out of the Wuhan? Trust the science.
Yes.
Trust the science. That was the mantra of the left this whole time. Look, I mean, what we got out of the Wuhan was a pretty healthy taste of what communism is actually like. We were told when we could go to work, when we couldn't go to work. We were told that, I mean, look at the videos of Joe Biden out there. Hey, if you do the right thing, you might be able to have, 4 or 5 people over for Thanksgiving. You might be able to have a 4th of July barbecue this year. Maybe not the big one that you normally have. Maybe just, a couple of neighbors, something like that. And we had the governor from Kentucky, Bashir. I remember when he said that, and they were talking about churches that dared to have services on Sundays during the Wuhan, and the Easter Sunday service was coming up, and he sent out people to inspectors and I guess law enforcement to write down the license plate numbers on cars that were found in church parking lots so they could face prosecution later on.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember I heard about that, and I was on the radio that day, and I played the theme music from The Godfather. Because if you remember, early on in The Godfather, of course, it's the wedding of Don Corleone's daughter, right? And then so what happens is, all his gangster buddies are there, and you've got these police detectives who are out there walking through the parking lot outside the Corleone compound, and they're writing down license plate numbers of all these cars, right? And there's the guys out there taking pictures and shit, and Sonny comes out and he says, tell these guys, get the hell out of here. You're on private property.
Yeah.
And the one guy takes a picture, and Sonny grabs the camera and smashes it on the ground. He whips out like $300 and throws it on the ground.
But
that was very authoritarian.
But the rules didn't fit everybody, because if you remember, our favorite Gavin Newsom,
yeah, sure,
he was at the French Laundry. He's at the French Laundry. I'd never heard of that fucking restaurant, and never would have.
No, if it weren't for
had it not been for that. But he's allowed to go out,
sure,
and hang out with his peeps.
It was fine for him.
Yeah.
And you know who else was having dinner out? We had Dr. Fauci and Jake Tapper.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Fauci writes that had dinner at my home with Jake and Jennifer Tapper. Relaxed, good time. Jake clearly believes that Trump is totally nuts. So he had dinner with Jake Tapper, I guess, and on many occasions. And Jake Tapper had the gonads to go on, and then look, he was sucking Fauci's dick on live TV. So to say, metaphorically speaking, right? So Jake Tapper just went on and on and on, talking about people who lie, and how he was disgusted by, as if Fauci was the purveyor of truth, and here's another, and we haven't even talked about this.
Why
yet.
are you assaulting me?
Here's another aspect.
Well, Pelosi getting her hair did.
She got her hair done, right? And
when she was questioned about it,
our friend Stephanie, who cuts hair for a living, what did that do to her business?
Oh, we won't talk about it, but
I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, she had to close her shop.
Yeah. I mean, and it's again, that's not just her, but thousands and thousands of other people just like her. So
how many people couldn't go to their family members' funerals?
I mean, friends of ours.
Yeah,
you had a loved one in a nursing home, you couldn't go visit them. No, I mean, this touched our lives very, very closely, and know a lot of you watching right now, it touched your lives very, very closely as well. But this whole thing, get this cut from Jake Tapper. So here's Jake Tapper talking about how he just abhors dishonesty. And of course, it's the Trump administration that was full of dishonesty.
One of the things about the Trump era was you kind of had to steel yourself for interviews with people that might misrepresent the facts and might so. At a certain point, once somebody proved themselves to be a liar, I just stopped booking them. There are some people that are they're just so mendacious, I just wouldn't put them on air. Kayleigh McEnany, I never booked her. Jason Miller from the Trump campaign, I would never book him. I mean, these are just people who they just tell lies the way that, most people breathe. And there was no value in that. There's a big difference between somebody like Kayleigh McEnany, who just this is what she does. She tells lies all the time. She can't acknowledge reality. So I'm just not going to put somebody like that on air. Millions of people.
So Jake Tapper is a complete piece of crap.
They have been misled.
The whole, while he's on there,
be told the truth, and that's part of what we need to do in the news media is try to help some of these people understand the truth once Trump goes away.
Off. That's what I was waiting for.
And
I was waiting for that, some little fucking clip like that. Fuck you.
That's what we in the news media have to do. We're the ones, and CNN does it, and Stelter did it the other day. Because he came on, he was talking about why they didn't air the Trump speech where he was talking about the 2020 election and all that. And again, it was the exact same thing. Those of us here at CNN, we're the journalists. And ABC and I think CBS refused to air it as well. So we have to rely on their brilliance, their insight, their resources to to look at whatever news event is happening, to digest that, and then relate the parts of us the parts of that they deem newsworthy, that they deem that we, the unwashed, are capable of understanding and capable of figuring out, not for ourselves, but and we're to be spoon fed by the likes of Jake Tapper and Brian Stelter. So that video was posted by a person who goes by the handle of Maze on X. And so after that video, they posted a thread of some of the, and not all, but some of the most famous lies of Jake Tapper. October 2020. Jake Tapper blasts Laura Trump for saying that Biden was showing signs of cognitive decline. Tapper said it was just Biden's stutter. 9 days later, Tapper
that he's had his whole life.
Well,
that's what they've said. He had that
can
stutter
claim
his
that.
whole life. Yeah, that's what they claim.
And I think we've played on this.
Go back and look.
This podcast clips of Joe Biden from when he was in the Senate in the 1980s and the 1990s, and he goes on at length, and you don't detect any stuttering at all.
Right.
So this whole notion that he's a stutterer and Jake Tapper is using that old crutch. 9 days later, though, after he blasted Laura Trump, he had on Mary Trump to discuss how Trump was mentally unfit for office. She's got a clip here of 6 different occasions when Tapper spread the fine people hoax, repeatedly claiming that Trump never condemned white supremacy or neo-Nazis. And we all know that that is a complete and total lie. 2022, Jake Tapper spreads the lie that 5 people lost their lives because of the insurrection, and then plays a deceptively edited short montage of Trump's January 6th speech.
Oh, yeah.
So we know that is a complete and total lie. Let me see. Last year, while promoting his book, Tapper claimed that he didn't defend Biden's cognitive ability during an interview. He said the video was deceptively edited. And so then she shows the video of Tapper and what he actually said. 2018, Tapper calls Trump a liar for claiming his campaign was spied on. Trump was right. Tapper was wrong. You know who spied on the Trump campaign?
Sorry, I'm reading. What did you say?
Do you know who was that spied on the Trump campaign and Trump when he was in office?
Hillary.
Barack Hussein Obama.
Well, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the fucking same thing.
So, I mean, and this thread goes on and on and on, talking about all the lies with the Russian hoax. And I mean, it just goes, I mean, look, CNN is not to be believed in any sort of way. And so when you got Jake Tapper on there, and again, he was palling around with Fauci. He had Fauci on, I mean, sometimes 3-4 nights a week. Fauci was on all the time. And in the one notice or entry in Fauci's diary, he says, they were at home. So Jake Tapper is visiting Fauci at his house.
Right.
And they're having dinner. He brings his wife with him. I mean, and none of this was ever disclosed on it.
So let me ask you this, because obviously from one of our friends in the chats, he's just saying, I don't understand what we're claiming. What did Fauci lie about? What was his motive? Did COVID not exist? But why would he say that he would not voluntarily come to this hearing and he had to be subpoenaed by the federal government if he wasn't hiding something, right? Because if I have nothing to lie about, oh sure, I'll come and let you fucking interview me.
Well,
or I'll come to you. You know what I mean?
These committees, these congressional committees in Congress, these congressional committees have subpoena power. Many of them do, and they can subpoena anyone. They can subpoena me. They can subpoena you.
Yeah, but why? But if he had nothing if he wasn't lying about something, why would he not go voluntarily?
I don't know. I mean, advice of counsel. I mean,
And obviously
there could be 1,000 different reasons.
And
why
the
you don't
things
go
that
volunteer.
things that we have seen over the last few years of what he stated and what actually got documented were fucking lies. They're out there. So I don't understand what's so hard to fucking wrap your head around, but I just wanted to acknowledge.
Well,
I just wanted to acknowledge a chat.
Well, the lies have to do with it was against, I don't know if it was illegal, but the policy that time, and this was my understanding of this is under the Obama administration, things like this gain of function research.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a thing that Rand Paul has really zeroed in on. And I think this is how he uncovered Fauci's involvement of all this. That the gain of function research was not to be funded by the United States taxpayers. But somehow Fauci got a workaround all that, and he was funding this research at the Wuhan lab, and it was gain of function research. Rand Paul knew it. Rand Paul called him out on it, and Fauci said, "Well, you don't know what you're talking about."
I'm a professional.
Yeah, I am science. Blah blah blah. So that is sworn testimony before Congress. So I don't think there's any question.
And he gained
lied about that.
He gained money.
Lying in front of Congress is still a crime. You're not, it's frowned upon. You're not supposed to be doing that, and you can be prosecuted for it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and
I
don't know all his connections.
He had financial gain out of this.
There was a lot of financial gain for him with the.
He's asking what the motive was.
Well, yeah, I mean, money is a motive.
Notoriety, money.
But I mean, read the excerpts from the diary. He was absolutely just wallowing in the fame, the notoriety, the constant demand for him to be on TV. I mean, he just thought it was the greatest thing that ever happened to him. I mean, read the entries in the diary. Read what the kind of stuff. I mean,
well, he's going to tell us that he read everything.
He was drunk with power. He was absolutely giddy about all the attention and Amy Acton was the same. Amy Acton was, I guess our version of Fauci here in Ohio. And she said, I remember listening to an interview one time, and she was giggling while she said it. She said, I've never had and I guess, her whole time in public office, doing public health related stuff. She said she's never had a time when people, she would actually tell people something to do and they actually did it. and that was her experience with the Wuhan, because we were being lied to about what it really was, where it came from, how deadly it was.
Everybody was seeing her every day.
Yes.
On television.
I mean, the government overreach was spectacular and something it'll never happen. I don't think it'll ever happen again.
What would you equate that to? Like in your lifetime? You just said it's your birthday today.
Equate what to?
This experience. I actually call it an experiment, to be honest with you.
The whole Wuhan? For me, I pretty much live my life as if the Wuhan wasn't happening.
But in your history,
I still went to her.
Do you remember anything that affected?
No, absolutely no, nothing. Nothing like this. And I talked about, I was still doing my job. I was still on the radio. I mean, things at the radio station changed a little bit, but I still went on the air. And I said at the time that the government overreach that we're experiencing right now is completely out of control.
Mm-hmm.
I say, and my point was, does the government have a role in this? And the answer was yes. The government has a role in this, and when their role should be information. They should be telling people what they know about the disease, what they know of that is the best way for people to protect themselves, right? And I would say that they should give you some options. Let's say that you get sick easily, or maybe you've got and the number of people who died with comorbidities on this, that was the vast majority of people who died because they came down with the Wuhan. And I said, what the government ought to do is say, look, if you've got, X number of health issues and you do this, you have to go out every day, you're around people every day, maybe you want to cut back. And what they should give people recommendations of how they can alter their lifestyle in order to best protect themselves. Because I said from the very beginning that the best way, and I didn't talk about the Wuhan every day, but I said the best way for us to get past this is for everyone to do what is in their own best interest, not government mandates, not the government coming out and shutting down every single school. Because we saw that people who were generally healthy that came down with the Wuhan had it for, you had it a couple times.
They said I had it, but
they said you had.
I had zero symptoms.
You wonder now, right?
I had months of not going to work, but getting paid because they wouldn't let me come back to work.
Yeah,
I was fully able, fully bodied, and had zero symptoms whatsoever.
But somehow you tested positive.
Yeah. And continued to test positive.
Yeah.
Guess what? Didn't change anything outside of not going to work, but collecting a paycheck, which I was like, I want to come back to work. They're like, well, you can't. Okay. Follow the rules. Trust the science. I followed the rules. And I'm not going to go into this deeply, but
I know
this event too.
Literally, this is the most I've ever talked about the Wuhan.
Well, this event.
I mean, we've been on. What 43, 44 minutes now, and this is literally.
It's a big fucking deal.
The most I've ever talked. It affected everyone's life in so many different ways. It cost the taxpayers of this country so much money. It exposed so much of what was going on with education and the whole. I mean, someone ought to do a documentary on this.
Have you ever looked at this though? I was just going to hit this real quick, but this event 201.
What is event 201?
Was a pandemic preparedness exercise held on October 18th, 2019, about 3 months before COVID-19 was first identified.
I have heard about this. Jesse Waters talked about
Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, along with Johns Hopkins and Johnny Hopkins. I used to smoke weed with him.
What made you get on this? What made you get on event 201?
No, I find the irony. Right. I find the irony right before our whole fucking world shut down. They had a preparedness exercise.
They war gamed. They war gamed the whole thing.
And they were looking at issues, international coordination, medical supply shortages, vaccine development, misinformation, economic disruption, travel and trade impacts. And just look it up. Look it up. I've read into it a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that one's attached to the other, but I'm not a police detective, but I can pick up a fucking clue.
Somebody who was in a position of influence was following a lot of that game plan right there.
Yes.
There's no question.
But yeah, I mean, it was frustrating though. Like,
I mean, are we supposed to believe it just a coincidence? Do you believe in coincidence?
I mean, I believe in coincidence, but not anything of that fucking not of that magnitude and that fucking time frame.
Not to that degree.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think it's very relevant and very interesting that his diary got fucking released. Like you said, your sister wrote a diary.
Britt Hume called it the worst public policy decision of his lifetime. The whole thing.
Oh yeah,
I mean. Yeah, he was on Brett Baer last night.
So I didn't get to watch that.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. Fauci is supposed to testify before this committee. I mean, that is going to be an absolute circus.
I'll be driving around, but
when he shows up in D.C., I'll be able to watch C-SPAN tomorrow, so I'll be able to eyeball all this while it's happening in real time.
You can give me a full report of what I missed.
It'll be interesting, but I've got it like you. I've got to cut my grass tomorrow.
So. I wonder how many times I plead the fifth.
Well, the thing is, if you plead the fifth, you got to do it. That's got to be the first thing out of your mouth,
right? And
it's got to be the only thing out of your mouth. You don't have the ability to answer one question. It's like the gal from Act Blue, who was there a few weeks ago. And Act Blue's got a lot of problems with money coming in from overseas. And Act Blue is a group that works to get a lot of funding for Democrat Party candidates. And so they may have run afoul of some of the campaign finance laws and things like that, especially when you talk about money coming from overseas. And the gal who was there, they said, your name is Jill Billy, right? And she said, well, based on advice of counsel, I'm exercising my Fifth Amendment right. So you can't say, yeah, my name's Jill Billy. How y'all doing today?
Right.
You can't do that and then say, well, I'm not going to answer that question. You answer one, then you got to answer them all.
Yep.
So you got to, when you take the fifth, if the first thing out of his mouth is, and I don't know if he gets to deliver. I guess he has the opportunity to deliver an opening statement, but I don't know if he'll do that and then take the fifth. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out.
We should get on fucking Polymarket, see what the fucking over under is on an opening statement.
Probably.
And start fucking putting fucking bets down.
Probably.
Here, let's hear from one of our sponsors real
Okay.
quick.
Every 2 minutes, a child enters foster care in America. Behind each statistic is a face, a story, and often a heartbreaking message. It's not my fault. The Varner Foundation for Children and Families was created in 2020 to change this reality. They don't just raise awareness about the foster care crisis, they take action. When local agencies can't meet a child's need, the Varner Foundation steps in. From providing essential resources to foster families to supporting children who've experienced trauma, they're building a network of hope. Every donation, every partnership, every act of support creates ripples of healing in a child's life. These aren't just statistics, they're futures being restored. One child at a time. Visit varnerfoundation.org and be the difference in a child's life, where 100% of all donations go directly to families in need. 100%. Because every child deserves to know you matter, you're valued, and it's not your fault.
So we were just discussing, we think StreamYard did something a little bit different because we don't hear anything now on our end, but luckily we know how long all these cuts are and can tell. But
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure they were coming through because it's StreamYard will change some stuff and then not even tell you that they did.
All right. So I think we've pretty much worn out the Fauci thing. Let me put up that headline that I sent you.
Oh, yeah, this one.
About and this is something I heard about, I don't know, maybe a week or so ago. But this article popped up on my social media feed, and it comes from the Daily Wire, which is a great website, by the way. Daily Caller, Daily Wire, two really good websites you should look at every day if you can. And the headline is this: trans dolls with removable genitals will be used to teach 4-year-olds. 4-year-olds. Kids can select bodies, genitals, clothes, and other accessories as a way to visualize their anatomy and genders. And where is this happening? Minnesota schools and hospitals. Minnesota schools and Minnesota. Home of the Somalis.
You fucking sent me this, and I was like, this can't be fucking real.
Ilhan Omar. Home of what's that governor's name? Tim Walz?
Tim douchebag.
I mean, this guy could have been our vice president. And I mean, look, the legislature, the people who make up the governing body there in Minnesota, they are completely nuts. But how many times have I said when it comes to all this transgender stuff? Hey, look, if you are a transgender individual, God bless you. Live your life the way you see fit. Live your best life. But for the love of God, can you please leave the kids out of? Do 4-year-old kids need transgender dolls where you can take the penis off of one and put it on the girl part of the girl doll? Do we really need that for 4-year-olds?
No.
Is that appropriate in any way? whatsoever.
Well, if you obviously,
I mean, it reeks of pedophilia.
Obviously, you ask some.
It reeks of creepiness.
It does.
It is absolutely the worst kind of thing. That it's beyond imagination that something like this would even be. I mean, who sits around as an educator or a school board member or someone who makes policy decisions? Who sits around and looks at this and says, "Yeah, that's a good idea"?
That seems like the right move.
Let me ask you, and here's another question. And I've seen so many people talk about this lately. Think back to when you were growing up. I mean, for me, that was a long time ago. For Kiefer, not so long ago.
That was pretty long.
When you were growing up and you were in school, how much one did your teachers talk about the idea of transgenderism? And then two, how many kids in your class that you knew personally? And this is a question not just for Keith, but for everyone who happens to listen to this podcast and is listening right this moment. When you personally were growing up, how many kids did you know that had this and what do they call it? What's the clinical term for gender dysphoria?
Yeah.
How many kids did you know with gender dysphoria? Girls who thought they were boys or boys who thought they were girls? The answer for me is zero. The answer for a lot of people I know is zero. Maybe
I'm literally racking my brain.
Maybe you knew someone that that was afflicted with this.
To be honest with you,
yeah,
I cannot think of any offhand that I went to school with.
How many 4-year-olds do you know of that are actively thinking about being a boy or being a girl, and maybe they can switch sexes
and knowing what they're wanting to do?
Yeah.
The answer for me is big fat goose egg. Zero.
I mean, it is absolutely sick. That I haven't read the whole article, so I don't know all the details about the dolls. What they got? A little Velcro? You got a little Velcro penis on there. You got some Velcro titties on the girl doll. You can lop those off just like, oh look, I'm having surgery. Then I take the.
It's like playing Operation.
I take
the fucking 2026.
I take the Velcro penis from the boy doll and put it on the girl doll. Look, mommy, I want to grow a penis. 4-year-olds, and then and what is 4-year-olds? You don't go to where I come from. You don't go to kindergarten until you're 5 years old. So we're talking about pre-kindergarten kids. Most pre-K classes are run by what? By public schools, by government.
Right.
This is what Zoran Mondani wants. This is what AOC wants. This is what people like Bernie Sanders want. This is what people like Kamala Harris want. They want your kids at the earliest age, and they want them to be influenced by this kind of crap, this kind of garbage. Hey, kids, I know you want to watch, what's a popular kids show right now? I don't know. It used to be Sesame Street.
Blues Clues or some shit.
Sesame Street, back in my day. We can watch Mr. Rogers or Sesame Street, but no, we're going to turn the TV off and we're going to talk about transgenderism.
You're going to tell me why.
And a 4-year-old is going to sit there and say, what?
No, you're.
Oh, I'm supposed to cut my mommy. My teacher said I'm supposed to cut my penis off and become a girl. Or cutting, I guess a 4-year-old that probably doesn't use the word penis. But
so since he said
they're
therapy tools, it's
bullshit.
All dumb, but at least know what you're outraged about.
It's indoctrination. It is clearly indoctrination. How in the hell
Bosco
can you have an entire class?
Bosco says therapy my ass.
However,
why that was a 4-year-old need that type
how
of
can
therapy.
How can you have an entire class of, I don't know, but what's class size these days? 25, 30 kids?
Probably.
And you're going to tell me they all need therapy when it comes to the issue of transgenderism? That is an agenda. That is an agenda-driven. It is clearly agenda-driven. And these are people who have an agenda, want to act on that agenda, and they are as sick as Fauci is, if you ask me. For God's sake, leave the kids alone. Is that asking too much?
I don't
Leave
think
the
it is.
kids alone.
And
I mean,
we've said it many times. You turn 18 and want to do whatever it is you want to do.
Yeah,
do
I
it.
don't care.
Fine. I don't have to agree with it, but
No.
do it.
I don't care.
I don't hate you for it. But you're an adult making your own fucking decision and not having a decision made for you. And that's what I feel like this is. They get coaxed into it for whatever reason. And mostly to your point, indoctrination of here's the way we're
this doesn't say anything about therapy. It says in order to allow them to express their sexual identity.
At 4 fucking years old. 4 years old.
Were you expressing your sexual identity at 4?
No, I'm like, oh, what's that thing? What is that?
I don't see a lot of 4-year-olds, and unless they are heavily influenced by creeps and weirdos, to express their sexual identity.
Yeah.
What? Why? I don't want to be on the receiving end of that expression of a 4-year-old. You know what? If I see a 4-year-old doing that, I'm gonna say, hey, let's throw some ball. Let's read a book. Let's take a walk. Hey, look at that dog over there.
Let's throw some ball. No pun intended.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Let's do something that
for the
4-year-old
for the
should
love
naturally
of God. 4 years old. And I would say the same thing if it was an 8-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old. I would say the same thing. Did we have that up there? Did people see the picture of the dolls? I mean, what the hell is going on there? I mean, when I was 4-year-old, when you were 4 years old, did you have any idea what a uterus was?
No.
No,
not at all.
Look, I mean, I grew up in a house with sisters.
I had sisters.
So I knew the difference between my anatomy and their anatomy. Mm-hmm. Look, you little kids, you run around naked. I mean, you can see things.
You can see things.
Right? Yeah. I understood the difference between boys and girls.
Yes.
But never did I.
But now, now you don't
know.
No
one I ever knew of
know.
Back then entertained the notion that, hey, I was born a boy, but I really want to be a girl, and I think we can make it happen. And I'll play with the little doll here to express my gender identity. For God's sake,
what the fuck?
These are not concepts that kids need to be introduced to. Look, I have a full understanding. I probably didn't get on to the whole idea of transgenderism until, I don't know, what, 3 or 4 years ago, 5, 10, I don't know, maybe I'll say 10 years ago. I don't know, when we used to listen to the Lou Reed, Take a Walk on the Wild Side, right?
Oh yeah.
David Bowie, got your mother in a whirl, not sure if you're a boy or a girl, right? Like that. But I never really, thought that really meant it. Layla.
Didn't really put any credence.
Or Lola. La 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 Lola.
Oh yeah.
I mean, kind of stuff like that. So, I mean, these concepts were out there, but I never really took any of that kind of stuff serious. I never thought it had anything to do with kids. It was always involved adults, and I never really cared about it. So, I mean, this was, I listened to the music. Do I like the song? But I never thought about exploring this in any kind of detail or in depth.
Right.
Because I mean, I had a notion that it was a very small segment of society that was involved in that kind of, and I think that is still the truth. But when you're talking about every public school in Minnesota, hospital, I don't know why hospitals would do this, because doctors know the truth, don't they?
Didn't we just fucking hammer that for the first 42 minutes?
But Fauci, I wonder if someone's going to ask Fauci. Dr. Fauci was a woman.
So I apparently live in a very small vacuum to where I have personally maybe only seen, we'll just call it a handful of trannies, right?
All right.
Out in the wild, as I'll call it. But I saw one the other day that literally scared the shit out of me.
A real life tranny?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And if I could have gotten my phone out, because I was going to send it to you in Pappas, but I couldn't get it out without being watched. And But it was a Metro bus driver walking out of a speedway, bus parked on a major thoroughfare. And I'm pumping gas. And I just turned around and looked.
Not like our one boy that was pumping gas at one time. Not like that. just clarifying.
Yes. But, I turn and, I'm nice. Yeah. I just, I see somebody, I just throw a hand up. Hey, how are you? Throw a wave up. This was the biggest bitch, dude, whatever you want to call it, that I've ever fucking seen. Probably 6 foot tall. Every bit of 275, 250, 275, but just tall and big, not fat.
Okay.
Little, I don't know what the hairstyle is, but like little, like gray hair, like kind of like what they call it, a bop or whatever.
I don't know what they call it.
But like not real long, but right here. Face looked just like you. I mean, dude as dude could be, but in a skirt, in heels, in pantyhose.
So you're saying he was good looking?
Well, let's not go that far. And I'm like, I was like, hey, how are you?
You didn't think it was me for a second, did you?
No.
Okay, all right.
But I'm like, well, what the fuck did I just see? Now, I talked to a couple buddies that saw it as well. And they're like, that's a huge bitch. I mean, I was like, holy fuck. And it was just, and literally like.
This individual is operating the Metro bus.
Correct.
If you get on the bus and that's your bus driver, what are you doing?
I'm riding the bus. I don't care.
You're okay?
I don't care.
Because
Because I know it's a dude who can drive.
I mean, are they?
I don't care. But I just said it. I don't care what you do.
Okay. All right.
But it was just shocking because I'm like kind of half.
You're thinking
attention.
this person is driving the Metro bus. They are fully qualified.
Sure. They went through
operate.
testing.
Okay.
They went through testing.
Very good.
But it caught me off guard because it was just out of the corner of my eye. Hey, how are you? I was like, oh shit. I was hoping my facial expression didn't like come out like what I was feeling.
Did they return your salutation?
Yeah. Hey, how are you? Dude, I was like, what the fuck? And it was witnessed by multiple other people.
How's it going?
And they were like, yeah, how was that interaction? I was like, dude, that fucked me up for a minute.
My gender dolls were created by staff at the University of Minnesota and a publicly funded university. So if you're listening to me right now and watching us on the YouTube, and maybe you have a kid,
Cincy's got family and
a kid in your life that is going to.
That's why he's hitting this so hard.
Attending the University of Minnesota, I would recommend against that. If this is the kind of stuff they're interested in at the University of Minnesota, that's just me. Maybe it's a fine institution of higher learning, but on this score, I think they're really missing the mark.
Yes,
for 4-year-olds. For God's sake,
that's crazy. I want to hit this last one real quick. This is just super quick, and then we're out of here.
All right.
But Joe Billy sent me this. I saw this when it first happened, but let's pull her up. Wisconsin brewery that offered free beer when Trump dies said their alcohol permit was revoked.
Whoopsie.
Owner Kirk Bangstad vows to fight tooth and nail after the Department of Revenue ordered the license pulled by August 4th. What did you think was going to fucking happen?
Did they get a visit from the Secret Service?
I would hope. Wisconsin brewery known for anti-Trump social media posts, including one promising a free beer promotion upon the death of President Donald Trump, has had its permit to operate in the state revoked. The Milwaukee Journal Sentinel reported Monday that liberal activist and brewery owner is vowing to fight tooth and nail after receiving a letter from the state's Department of Revenue. Excuse me. Was it Minocqua Brewing Company's permit to operate in Wisconsin? As you can imagine, I'm not taking this lying down. He wrote in a Substack post on Sunday. We're going to fight the state of Wisconsin tooth and nail. And once again, they'll have to pry me out of my tap rooms before I stop selling
pry
beer
me out of my tap
to
room.
thirsty progressives who come to visit.
Does he still want Trump to die? I would imagine that
He also asked readers to donate to his legal defense fund, writing, as usual, fighting to keep my business alive means I have to pay lawyers, and that's never cheap. Every time this happens, I rack up $100,000 in legal bills before we even see a judge.
Just a quick note here to
just don't do it.
anyone that runs any kind of business, if you announce that you are going to be offering promotions based on the whether or not our president is alive, and I don't care what kind of president it is.
I don't care who it is.
If you're going to do promotions based on whether or not our president gets assassinated, I'm not going to patronize your business.
No. Like, it's just,
It's a simple decision for me.
That's a human thing. That's not even a political thing. It's a fucking human thing.
All right. So look, we've done a great service for a lot of people today. And Jason, before we go, this headline just popped up on my feed. I'd like you to read this headline here.
ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, and MS Now, or as I call it, M Snow. Ignore Fauci diary entries that reveal fixation on fame during COVID. Networks failed to mention the story from Saturday through Monday morning, according to a search of transcripts.
So think about all the people who get their news from.
How about censorship?
ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN. There's not censorship. They are selectively they're censoring themselves.
But it's their own. It's their own companies. They can choose to do. I'm just saying. But they're not delivering news.
So think about there are people out there who know absolutely nothing about this story because they rely on NBC or ABC. George Stephanopoulos. They rely on these people. What's the guy's name? It's Tony DeCopel. That's I believe it's CNS. David Muir, ABC.
Oh yeah.
All these people. They rely on these people to give them their news, and they have no idea that Fauci has a diary. No idea. Absolutely none. So I like to think that we performed a service.
That's called scrubbing
today.
It's called scrubbing.
Well, that's what they do.
Yeah, that's what they do.
That's our news media.
Hey guys, we appreciate you. I believe we're going to try to go live again on Friday. We'll get with Pappas and see if he's back at the doctor again. I actually did get a comment today. Like,
about what?
Oh, I'm glad Pappas passed his physical. from a watcher who's normally not in the chats, but approached me. He was like, that was fucking amazing.
Maybe a whole other issue has cropped up and he's had to go for another exam. Maybe we'll have more video on.
Yeah. I'm gonna scour the internet. But yeah, so we're gonna hopefully see you on Friday. Just follow the Instagram and I'll keep you posted. But we appreciate you guys. Remember, like, subscribe, download, and tell a friend. And we'll see you guys. Have a good rest of the week. Everybody be safe. Don't play with
go put some steaks on the grill.
Don't play with any weird dolls while you're out there.